Welcome to the next lesson, Daily Pages. You can find these beginning on pages 30 and 31 of your planner. These pages comprise most of the Full Focus Planner. They're ground level zero for achieving your goals and keeping you focused and highly productive. Now, we've included enough pages for 14 complete weeks. That way, even if the quarter doesn't start on a Monday, and most don't, you're going to still have plenty of pages to last the entire quarter. Daily pages are actually two separate pages, the agenda page on the left and the notes page on the right. Let's cover these one at a time. So let's start with the agenda page. At the top, you'll see an area to write the date. Now, it's normal at the start of a quarter to have a few blank pages because not every quarter is going to start on a Monday. So just go to the correct day of the week and write in that date here. Some people prefer to add the dates 1 week at a time. It's totally up to you. Just be careful, especially if you're using ink. Now let's come back to today's date. Enter the date next to the day of the week. For instance, July 3rd, 2019. Notice the weeks left remaining in the quarter here. This is a simple widget, a visual representation of how many weeks are left in the quarter. This is designed to give you perspective, and as the quarter progresses, create a sense of urgency to drive action. Now, identify your daily big three. This is the heart of this page. As it says right there in the planner, these should be your most important tasks that have the potential to create the biggest impact. These tasks must be important. By the way, these could be related to one of your quarterly goals, but they don't have to be. In any given quarter, you're going to have a lot of projects that are important beyond your goals, but they aren't an official goal, and that's okay. The key is that each of your daily big three is very important. Now write down your other tasks that you might need to accomplish. They don't have to take much time, and in the grand scheme of things, they probably aren't that important. If you don't accomplish them today, it's not that big of a deal. Examples might include picking up the dry cleaning or calling your insurance company to change your billing address, emailing a friend about playing a round of golf this weekend. You get the idea. It's again, just other tasks, other more trivial tasks. Note that there are two narrow columns on the left side of the other tasks list. Use the first to indicate the task status, more about that in a minute, and the second to indicate the priority or the sequence of the tasks. The second column is to indicate the priority or the sequence, the order that you'd like to do the tasks. But that's totally optional, and if you don't want to use it, that's fine. Along the bottom of the page, you'll see a legend. These are marks you can use to indicate the status of your task. Whether they're part of your daily big three or simply your other tasks, these same status symbols work. The check mark, that's obvious. Use that to indicate that you've completed the task. Use the diagonal line when you've taken some action, but you're waiting for someone else to respond before you can check it off. For example, if you call someone but have to leave a message. A round circle indicates that you've delegated a task. You can also indicate in parentheses the name of the person you delegated the task to. Then you can use the arrow to indicate a task that you've deferred to another time. And finally, you can use an X. That's my personal favorite, to indicate a task that you've deleted. Maybe it was completed by someone else or is simply no longer relevant. Now let's go to the right-hand side of this page. Notice at the top, we've listed your 4 most important rituals of the day. Just check those off as you complete them. Most of this column, though, is designed to record your appointments. Even if you use a digital calendar, it's a good idea to write down your appointments for the day for the same reasons that we outlined in the lesson on monthly pages. It just helps you preview your upcoming appointments and helps you spot any potential conflicts and revise your schedule accordingly. And it gives you an opportunity to fully own what you've scheduled. Every appointment reflects a choice that you made. And so it's a good exercise to acknowledge that and embrace it. Note that this is meant to be an abbreviated list. You don't have to record or reproduce everything that might exist in Google or your Outlook calendar appointment. It should just be enough to keep you on track throughout the day. And by the way, don't forget to schedule some time to work on your most important projects. If you've never done this before, scheduling some alone time with just yourself, that can be a game changer. Now let's turn to the notes page. This page doesn't really need much explanation. We all know how to take notes, right? It's simply a place for you to take your notes throughout the day. But on some days, you may not take any notes. On some days, this one page may not be enough. If that's the case, you have 3 options. You can use the extra notes page, and those start on page 286 of your planner. Now granted, there aren't a lot of those extra pages, there's only 10, but if you do continue your note taking there, I would encourage you to indicate the page number at the bottom of your first notes page, and then on the extra notes page, write something like continued from page 197. It's totally up to you. You could also use a blank notes page from a previous day. It's likely that you won't take notes on each and every single day, 7 days a week, so you can just recycle one of those pages. But again, just like you would if you were using the additional notes page at the back of the planner, indicate the page number of the additional notes. Or you could use a separate notebook. We recommend the Full Focus notebook. It's the perfect companion to the Full Focus planner. Now along the left-hand side of the page, you'll notice a narrow column. These are a place for you to include the note symbols at the bottom of the page. You don't have to use these suggested symbols, but they're pretty close to universal and pretty helpful. For example, you could use an asterisk to indicate something important. This is going to help you when you're reviewing your notes later. You can just scan through your planner and see the important stuff. You could also use a question mark to indicate that you have a question about something that you want to research later. You could use a ballot box, just like this little square here, to indicate an action you want to take, like a to-do list item, and then transfer these to a specific date or put them in your digital task manager, or just scan these items in your weekly preview. Again, it's totally up to you. Once the item has been completed, you can check it off. You can use a circle, like the one here, to indicate an item that you'd like to delegate. Once the item has been completed, you check it off. Now, along the right-hand side of the page, you're going to notice another column. Again, this one's totally optional, but it's a column for tracking time. That's why we have this little stopwatch icon here at the top of the column. For example, if you're a lawyer or an accountant or some other kind of professional who bills by the hour, you can note here how much time you spent on a task or a project. If you're simply trying to improve your efficiency, you can note your time here as well. If you won't use this column, then just right over top of it. And that's pretty much it. Again, the daily pages are the heart and soul of the planner. This is where the rubber meets the road. This is where the daily battle is won or lost. These pages may seem simple, perhaps even simplistic, but they're designed to keep you focused and achieving your most important goals and tasks. So now let's go to the next lesson, the weekly preview.